Ultimately, we have no pace, we have no reliability, we do not have a car capable of scoring points. Those were the brutal words of Carlos Sainz after the Austrian Grand Prix, a race that laid bare the harsh reality of his decision to join Williams. When Sainz signed a 2+2 year deal with the Grove-based team, he knew it was a gamble. He knew he was leaving a race winning Ferrari for a team in the midfield, but he expected a project on the rise, a team that had bet heavily on the 2026 regulations and was poised to take a massive leap forward. Instead, he has found himself in a car that is overweight, unreliable, and fundamentally lacking in performance. The FW48 missed its first pre-season shakedown, and it has been the 9th fastest car on average this season. The contrast with Alpine, a team using the exact same Mercedes power unit, is staggering. Alpine sits 5th in the Constructors' Championship with 57 points, while Williams languishes in 8th with just 11. Sainz himself has scored only 6 of those points, leaving him 14th in the drivers' standings. It is a massive shock to the system for a driver who was scoring podiums just a few months ago. Today, we are going to look at the growing frustration of Carlos Sainz at Williams, the irony of his decision to avoid Audi, and the very real possibility that he could trigger his exit clause to replace Max Verstappen at Red Bull. The frustration is palpable, and it is not hard to see why. Sainz has admitted that the 2.5-second pace deficit at the start of the year was a big test of faith. He has spoken bluntly about the team under-delivering in many areas, not just on weight but on the fundamental performance delivery of the car. When you go from fighting at the front of the grid to struggling to get out of Q1, it takes a toll on a driver. While he has praised team principal James Vowles for taking strong action to correct the issues, he has also made it clear that his patience is not infinite. He is working out if the targets of Williams align with his own and how long he is willing to wait to win again. Vowles has suggested that Williams might not fight at the front until 2028, a timeline that Sainz finds realistic but perhaps unpalatable. The reality is that Sainz is a driver in his prime, a 4-time Grand Prix winner who wants to be fighting for championships, not scraping for the odd point in the lower midfield. He has proven time and time again that he has the talent to compete with the best in the world. Right now, Williams is not providing that machinery, and the clock is ticking. Pressure is mounting on the team to deliver upgrades that actually work, but so far, the results have been deeply disappointing. This brings us to the great irony of his situation. When Sainz was weighing his options for 2026, he had a lucrative offer from Audi on the table, but he turned it down, reportedly because he had doubts about how competitive a brand new power unit program could be from day one. He chose Williams in large part because of the proven strength of the Mercedes engine, but as the season has unfolded, that decision has started to look questionable. The new ADUO system, which allows teams to upgrade their engines based on their performance deficit, means that the team furthest behind the benchmark gets the most development tokens. Audi, with its brand new power unit, is almost certainly going to be the furthest behind, meaning they will get the most tokens and the biggest opportunity to make massive engine gains. Williams, on the other hand, has a strong Mercedes engine but a terrible chassis. They cannot use ADUO tokens to fix their aerodynamic problems. The very thing Sainz avoided, a weak engine, could turn out to be a massive advantage for Audi under the new regulations, while the strong engine he sought at Williams is being wasted in a poor car. It is a cruel twist of fate for a driver who thought he was making the safe choice. The irony is not lost on anyone in the paddock, and it must be a bitter pill for Sainz to swallow. It is no surprise then that rumours are swirling about Sainz looking for an exit, and he has a built-in escape route. His contract with Williams includes an exit clause that allows him to leave if he is offered a seat at Ferrari, Mercedes or Red Bull. With Ferrari and Mercedes seemingly locked in, all eyes are on Red Bull. The situation at the reigning champions is volatile. Max Verstappen has a release clause that he can trigger between August and October if he is outside the top 2 in the driver's standings at the summer break. Currently sitting 7th, 60 points adrift of 2nd place, it is highly likely that Verstappen will have the option to leave. If he does, Red Bull will need a top-tier replacement, and Sainz is firmly on their radar. The prospect of a reunion with the team that brought him into Formula One is a tantalizing one. Reports indicate that there is a non-zero chance Red Bull would approach Sainz if Verstappen departs. The connection is already there. Sainz has a strong relationship with Red Bull team principal Laurent Mekies from their time together at Ferrari, and the Sainz camp is not sitting idly by. It has been reported that his manager has already approached Red Bull to sound out a move for 2027. The prospect of returning to the Red Bull family where he started his Formula One career must be incredibly tempting for Sainz. It would offer him an immediate route back to the front of the grid and a chance to fight for wins once again. The dynamic between Sainz and the Red Bull hierarchy has evolved significantly since his Toro Rosso days, and he is now seen as a mature, dependable, and extremely fast driver who could anchor the team if their star driver departs. Williams, for their part, are not going to let their star driver go without a fight. Reports suggest they are ready to move heaven and earth to keep him for 2027. They know that losing a driver of his caliber would be a massive blow to their rebuilding project. But if Red Bull comes calling with a race-winning car, it is hard to imagine Sainz turning them down. He wants to win, and he wants to win now. The allure of a top seat is powerful, and Williams will have a very hard time convincing him to stay if a better opportunity presents itself. The team has a lot of work to do to prove to Sainz that they can deliver a competitive car in the near future. They need to show him that the sacrifices he is making now will pay off down the line. But with the current state of the FW48, that is a tough sell. The gap to the front is simply too large and the progress too slow for a driver of his ambition to remain patient indefinitely. There is also the possibility of a stopgap move. Alpine is reportedly looking for a top driver, and they might be willing to offer Sainz a one-year contract. This would allow him to escape the struggles at Williams while keeping his options open for 2028. Audi might become available alongside Nico Hülkenberg and Gabriel Bortoleto. It is a complex game of musical chairs, and Sainz is right in the middle of it. A move to Alpine would be a risk, but it might be a risk worth taking if it gets him out of a car that he clearly does not believe in. And the prospect of joining Audi in 2028, when their engine program has had time to mature, could be the long-term solution he is looking for. It is a fascinating scenario, and one that will keep the paddock talking for months to come. The strategic maneuvering behind the scenes is as intense as the racing on the track. The next few months will be critical. If Williams can make significant progress and show Sainz that they are on the right path, he might be convinced to stay and see the project through. But if they continue to struggle, and if the dominoes start falling at Red Bull, we could see Carlos Sainz in very different colours next season. The driver market is wide open, and the decisions made in the coming weeks will shape the grid for years to come. For Carlos Sainz, the choice is clear. He needs to find a team that can match his ambition and give him the car he deserves. Whether that team is Williams, Red Bull, Alpine or Audi remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, he will not settle for mediocrity. He is a driver who belongs at the front of the grid, and he will do whatever it takes to get back there. The coming races will be a true test of his resolve and his ability to navigate the complex politics of Formula One. Do you think Carlos Sainz will trigger his exit clause and leave Williams at the end of the year? And if he does, where do you think he will end up? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Formula One news and analysis. I will see you in the next one.